What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today I want to do an update when it comes to this new bill, this new Build Back Better style bill. We received some information late yesterday from Senator Manchin's office, and we need to talk about this because this can affect this new bill that they're talking about. So that's what we're going to talk about today on this video. But first off, on this channel, we talk about money and the financial struggles that Americans are facing today. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so first off, I do want to remind you guys about our premieres. We're going to do a premiere on pretty much every video that I put out that's around 15 minutes or more. I've seen the best results when it comes to people coming into the room on a premiere that's at least 15 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. Anything less than 15 minutes at this point, I'm going to do regular videos. Okay, so for the premieres, in order for you to get notifications for the premieres, you need to subscribe and hit the little bell notification. So make sure you do that, and that way you'll get an announcement early on before I do the premiere. Usually you'll have about 2 hours before the premiere will air. That's when I usually launch it. And so you'll get a notification at that point so you can come in. And if you guys don't know what a premiere is, you watch the video with me and we chat in the chat while we're watching the video. So that's pretty much how that works. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this new bill. And this is I'm going to be honest with you, this is not good news. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Washington Post. They posted this yesterday, late yesterday. Manchin says he won't support any new climate spending or tax hikes. Okay, so we know that this bill has tax hikes because that's what was talked about, and we know that they want to have some type of climate change element to this bill. As well as the lowering prescription medication. Now, it seems that the lowering prescription medication, there's an agreement between Majority Leader Schumer and Senator Manchin. So they agree on that. But obviously, Senator Manchin doesn't agree on these other two issues, right? And so what does that mean? That means that the current state of this bill, it's not going anywhere, okay? And that's unfortunate. That's very, very unfortunate. But I talked about this last week when they started mentioning this bill. I said the focus of this bill should be lowering prescription medication. That should be the focus. That will touch pretty much every American. Even if you're not getting prescription medication, it will still touch you because if it costs less for insurance companies to purchase medication, they should be passing that cost on to you by lowering premiums. So that could affect every American. Now, when we're looking at this bill as a whole, obviously, if Senator Manchin's not on board, they need all 50 Democrats to support this. If they can't get all 50 Democrats to support this, they're going to have to make changes. And so when I was talking last week, I said they should do standalone bill. They should really focus on the lowering prescription medication. That's what they should be focused on. The climate change, the raising taxes, maybe they can focus on that at a later date. I don't know. I don't even think there's time for that. But the reality is lowering prescription medication is something that at least Senator Manchin's on board for. And so if he's on board for it, they can move forward with those 50 votes. So with those 50 votes from Democrats, they can do it through reconciliation, have Kamala Harris come in and break the tie and at least get something done before the midterm elections. Because right now, it looks like nothing will get done if they want to keep this bill the way that it is. And it's pretty sad when you look at this whole situation because I've been following this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have been following this from the beginning when they were talking about the infrastructure bills, right? The first infrastructure bill, the second infrastructure bill. No, let's just do one infrastructure bill together that tackles everything. So hard infrastructure, soft infrastructure, all this stuff was being talked about last year. And Senator Manchin was able to convince Democrats to say, hey, let's do a hard infrastructure bill first, and then I promise to take a serious look at a second infrastructure bill, a soft infrastructure bill. And so that's what they did. They moved ahead with the hard infrastructure. They went ahead and passed that. It was bipartisan. And then when it came to the soft infrastructure or the social programs infrastructure bill, whatever you want to call it, the Build Back Better bill, that's when Senator Manchin said, you know what? Yeah, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And then we move forward to right now where Senator Manchin's still saying, you know what, I just can't move forward. I can't do anything when it comes to climate change, and I don't want to raise taxes on the wealthy. It's just not going to happen. And so it's really sad just to look at the way this is all played out. And there were a lot of Democrats last year that said, look, we need to put the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill on the table at the same time, get them passed at the same time, and then have them signed off by the president. And that would have been the right strategy, because right now we're looking at it, Senator Manchin is just going to continue to backpedal, because it looks like every time you're getting to a negotiation with Senator Manchin, he's saying, oh, I like this, but I don't like that, and I like this, but I don't like that, and nothing goes forward. So from this point on, I think what they need to do is just do that standalone bill. Just do the lowering prescription medication. They both agree on that, which the majority leader, Schumer, and Senator Manchin agree on that. Move forward with that. Get something done before the midterm. And so at this point, they have until September 30th. And like I said already, if they can't get this done, if they can't get a deal by July, then we know they're going on recess in August, and we know that they'll return in September. But when they return in September, if they already have the blueprint of a bill, then they could probably move forward with that. But if they don't even have a blueprint, they're going to start talking about the budget. They're going to have to do something when it comes to the budget. So they're going to be focused on that. So they really need to move forward with something this month and at least get a blueprint, at least have something in writing on how they want to move forward. And like I said, the easiest way to go about it at this point, and probably the only way to go about it at this point, is the lowering prescription medication. And so this is one of those stories that we're going to have to continue following. And the main reason I like doing daily videos and I like talking about what's going on when it comes to legislation, because I want you guys to see the inaction that's coming from politicians, the way they just sit on the sidelines, they do nothing. Republicans at this point are not trying to help at all when it comes to any of this. Okay, so lowering prescription medication, climate change, tax hikes, they're not trying to help at all. They're going to just sit it out and hope that they can win in November. And then when they win in November, then there's going to be a sense of urgency where they're going to want to move and do this and do that. But for the last 2 years, they've been pretty much just sitting on the sideline. But the main thing that I want people to focus on when they're looking at my videos and seeing the different legislation and how it just doesn't go anywhere is the fact that we are paying these salaries. We're paying these politicians to represent us. And the reality is, they're not doing a good job of it. And so that's the main takeaway, I think, from all of this. Whether you agree with their platform or you don't, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, nothing is getting done. Nothing of substance. And it's pretty sad. And I have a lot of people in the comments that will mention this. And I talked about it back when they started passing these bills to fund Ukraine. I mean, there was a lot of bills that were going through to fund Ukraine, billions of dollars going to Ukraine, and they were getting those things done really fast. Those bills were going through very, very fast, and it was getting bipartisan support. But when it comes to the American people, when it comes to these different bills that they want to get through, there's always a hang up. There's always a problem with moving forward. And that's really, really unfortunate. And I think we're now at a time where in order for politicians to really understand that they need to represent the American people need to speak out. They need to vote against these politicians and get them out of office. And one of the things that I've always been a proponent of is term limits. We should not have politicians in office for 20 years, for 30 years. It just shouldn't happen. Mitch McConnell's, people like that have been there for years and years, they shouldn't be in office, okay? Give them a term limit, maybe 3 terms, 2 terms, that's it. That way these politicians understand, I only have a few years to get things done. If I can get things done in these few years, then that's good. You also don't want to have politicians that are just in there, they've been in there so long, they have that seniority and they're able to really influence some of the other politicians that are out there. We don't need that, okay? Because now you have some politicians that have that seniority and they pretty much run Congress. And if they're running Congress, that means they're controlling the other politicians and they're not letting those politicians represent their districts. And so I think it's an important time for us to really take a look at term limits. But the reality is, a lot of these politicians have been there for a long time. This is their bread and butter. They're making money on this. Not only are they making money from their salary, but they're making money just because they have that power and influence. So it's going to be hard to change, but I think term limits are something that maybe we can get the right politicians in there by voting these politicians in that are on board for doing something when it comes to term limits. So we'll have to just follow that story and see where it goes. I want to know what you guys think about term limits, so let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.